Narcissists don't just break your heart, they rewire your brain. You think you're falling in love or meeting someone who finally gets you. But beneath the charm and attention lies something far more dangerous, a silent programming of your mind. What if the intense connection you felt was never real? What if every compliment, every glance, every "I've never felt this way before" was part of a script, not to love you, but to control you? This isn't about bad breakups or red flags. This is about psychological manipulation so subtle, so expertly executed that it can literally alter your brain chemistry. Most victims don't even know it's happening until it's too late. A relationship with a narcissist always starts with intensity. They text you constantly, compliment you obsessively, make you feel like you're the most extraordinary person on earth. It's fast, euphoric, and overwhelming, and that's exactly the point. This is the love bombing phase. It's not love, it's bait. Neurologically, your brain is lighting up like a pinball machine. Every compliment triggers dopamine, the same feel-good chemical released when you win a jackpot or eat your favorite dessert. Your brain is learning. This person equals pleasure. You begin craving their attention like a fix. Then comes oxytocin, the bonding hormone. Released through deep eye contact, shared secrets, and physical intimacy, it's the same hormone that bonds a mother to her newborn. It doesn't care whether the bond is healthy or destructive, it just sticks. So what's happening? You're getting hooked, not on the person, but on the chemical roller coaster they're engineering. Love bombing overwhelms your ability to think critically. Narcissists flood you with attention so intensely and so quickly that your brain doesn't get a chance to evaluate their behavior. Instead, it goes into reward mode, seeking more of that stimulation, more of that high. And they know this. They'll mirror your interests, mimic your emotions, even copy your language patterns to create the illusion of a soulmate connection. It feels fated, perfect, like the universe brought you two together. But it's not fate, it's manipulation. The fast-forwarded intimacy isn't proof of compatibility, it's control masquerading as romance. Think about it. In genuine relationships, trust builds slowly. There's space to observe, question, and understand. Narcissists skip all that. They use speed to disarm you. The goal isn't connection, it's capture. And here's the most dangerous part: your brain adjusts. It starts to expect this level of stimulation. It gets rewired to crave it. Anything less feels empty, even threatening. So when the narcissist inevitably starts pulling away, and they will, your brain doesn't just notice the absence, it panics. Now you're chasing, reaching for the version of them that never really existed. Trying to get back to the high they created artificially. That first week, that magical connection. It wasn't real. But your brain doesn't care, it's already hooked. This is the setup. You're not in love, you're in withdrawal. And the narcissist, calm, cold, in control, watches you spiral. They knew this would happen, they designed it. Because love bombing isn't random, it's the beginning of a cycle. A psychological loop engineered to keep you confused, dependent, and emotionally starved. It doesn't matter how smart, strong, or self-aware you are. If you're human, your brain is vulnerable to this, and narcissists know exactly how to exploit it. This is phase one, and it's just the beginning. If love bombing is how narcissists hook you, gaslighting is how they keep you. It starts subtly. You bring up something they said, they deny it. You recall how a conversation made you feel, they say you're too sensitive. You begin to second-guess your own memory, your judgment, even your sanity. That's not forgetfulness, that's gaslighting. Gaslighting is a psychological tactic that makes you question the reality you live in. It's disorienting, it's exhausting, and it's deliberate. Let's be clear, the narcissist isn't confused. They remember what they said. They know what they did. But when you confront them, they rewrite the story, not to convince you, but to destabilize you. Here's how it works neurologically. Your brain relies on consistent cues to build a stable sense of reality. When someone repeatedly contradicts your experiences, it creates cognitive dissonance, a psychological tension that demands resolution. Your brain doesn't like that tension, so it tries to resolve it by aligning with the safer explanation. In narcissistic abuse, that means believing them over yourself. Over time, your internal compass gets scrambled. You hesitate before speaking. You apologize for things you didn't do. You wonder, maybe I am overreacting. That's not insecurity, that's programming. And narcissists make it worse by mixing cruelty with moments of kindness. One minute they invalidate your emotions, the next they're back to being sweet, affectionate, or attentive. This confusion reinforces dependency. Your brain starts to link emotional pain with moments of comfort, and the source of both is the same person. This is called trauma bonding. The more confused you are, the more you seek clarity from the very person causing the confusion. It's a cycle. Gaslight, destabilize, soothe, repeat. Here's an example. You catch them lying. The evidence is clear, but instead of owning it, they flip the script. Why are you always accusing me? You're so paranoid. Suddenly, you're not the person uncovering truth. You're the one who's broken, jealous, unstable. Eventually, your reality bends to theirs. You start hiding your feelings. You silence your intuition. You stop trusting yourself. That's the goal. Because once you no longer trust your perception, you're easier to control. You're less likely to leave. You're less likely to fight back. And if you do push back, they escalate. They'll accuse you of being the abuser. They'll recruit others to question your story. This is called flying monkeys, when the narcissist uses enablers to reinforce their version of reality. Gaslighting isn't just manipulation, it's erosion of confidence, of truth, of identity, and it leaves deep scars. Even after the narcissist is gone, the effects linger. Victims often struggle to trust themselves long after the relationship ends. They become unsure, hypervigilant, anxious, because their reality was constantly under attack. And here's the cruelest twist. When you finally start to see the truth, you blame yourself for not seeing it sooner. That's gaslighting's final blow. It makes you question everything, except the person who caused it. By now, the narcissist has pulled you in with love bombing and broken your reality with gaslighting. But the manipulation goes even deeper, because the ultimate goal isn't just affection or control, it's reprogramming. Narcissists want to redesign how you think, feel, and respond, not to life, but to them. They do this through a cocktail of psychological tactics: isolation, triangulation, blame shifting, and intermittent reinforcement. Each one targets your brain's emotional wiring, and together they reshape how you process the world. Let's start with isolation. They don't cut you off from others outright, they poison your connections. Your friend doesn't like me. Your mom is too involved. They make you feel like your closest allies are against your relationship. Slowly, you begin to withdraw, not because you're forced to, but because it seems easier. And now you're alone, easier to control, dependent on them for emotional survival. Next comes triangulation. They introduce a third person, real or imagined. An ex they're still friendly with. A coworker who's just a friend. Someone who seems to have more of their affection than you do. The message is unspoken but crystal clear. You're not enough. And your brain, already insecure from the emotional chaos, sees this as a threat. You begin to compete, you overcompensate, you shrink yourself hoping to be chosen again. Then there's blame shifting. When something goes wrong, it's never their fault. Ever. They twist the narrative, making you feel responsible for their cruelty. You made me act like this. You pushed me. You start to internalize guilt that isn't yours. You walk on eggshells. You manage their moods before your own. This doesn't just drain you. It rewires you to see yourself as the problem. But the most powerful and destructive tactic is intermittent reinforcement. It's the psychological backbone of every abusive dynamic. It's the cycle of cruelty followed by kindness, cold silence followed by unexpected affection. You never know what version of them you're going to get. And that unpredictability, it creates obsession. Here's the science. Your brain responds more strongly to inconsistent rewards than predictable ones. Think slot machines. You don't win every time, but when you do, it's electric. Narcissists use this same pattern. They give you affection just enough to keep you hooked, chasing the high, craving the next good day. Over time, you become addicted to the approval of someone who keeps moving the finish line. You're not just emotionally invested, you're neurologically dependent. This is psychological reprogramming, and it changes your brain. Studies show that prolonged emotional abuse shrinks the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory, and inflames the amygdala, which governs fear response. Victims often report chronic anxiety, memory fog, and emotional dysregulation. Even years after the abuse ends, these effects can linger. You may feel like you lost yourself, and in a way you did. Your reactions, beliefs, boundaries, all reshaped by someone else's emotional dominance. That's what makes narcissistic abuse so damaging. It doesn't just hurt, it rewires your entire reality. And the scariest part, it's so gradual, you rarely see it happening. Until one day you look in the mirror and don't recognize who's looking back. What makes narcissistic abuse so sinister isn't just what it does to your emotions, it's what it does to your mind. Your brain adapts to survive in chaos. You don't just fall in love, you get rewired. That's why so many survivors say, "I don't know who I am anymore." But understanding the process is the first step to reversing it. Once you see the mechanics, the tactics, the cycles, the manipulation, it loses its power. You begin to see the narcissist not as this powerful figure who broke you, but as a broken person who needed to dominate you just to feel whole. Let me know in the comments below if there's a specific topic you want me to cover in the next video. I'd love to hear your ideas. And if you like this video, smash that like button, share this video with someone that needs to hear this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.